The Spirit's Book, containing the principles of the Spiritist doctrine, concerning the immortality of the soul, the nature of spirits and their relationships with humankind, moral laws, the present life, the future life and the destiny of humanity, according to the teachings given by highly evolved spirits through several mediums, received and coordinated. By Allan Kardec. Chapter 2. The General Elements of the Universe. Knowledge of the origin of things.
Can humans know the origin of things?
No, on earth, God does not allow everything to be revealed to them.
Will they ever be able to grasp the mystery of things now hidden from them?
The veil is lifted as they become more and more purified, but in order to understand certain things, they need faculties they do not yet have.
Can't humans grasp some of nature's secrets through scientific investigation?
Science has been given to them for their advancement in all matters, but they cannot go beyond the limits set by God.
Outside the realm of scientific investigation, can humans receive communications of a higher order regarding matters that go beyond the scope of their senses?
Yes, if God deems it useful, God will reveal what science cannot detect.
Spirit and matter.
Is matter eternal like God, or was it created at some specific time in the past?
Only God knows. Nevertheless, there is something you should realize by using your reason. God, the very personification of love and charity, has never been inactive. No matter how long ago you might imagine the onset of the divine action to have been, could you possibly conceive of God as ever having been idle for even 1 second?
Matter is generally defined as that which has extension, that which can impress our senses, that which is impenetrable. Are these definitions correct?
From your own point of view, they are correct because you can only talk about matters that are familiar to you. Matter, however, also exists in states that are unfamiliar. For example, it may be so ethereal and subtle that your senses cannot detect it. It is matter nonetheless, even though you do not perceive it as such.
What is spirit?
The intelligent principle of the universe.
Is spirit synonymous with intelligence?
Intelligence is one of the essential attributes of spirit, but both merge into a common principle. Thus, for you, they are one and the same thing.
Is spirit independent of matter, or is it only a property of matter, as colors are properties of light and as sound is a property of air?
They are distinct from each other, but the union of spirit and matter is necessary to enable matter to act intelligently.
Is this union equally necessary for the manifestation of spirit?
For you, it is necessary because you are not built to perceive spirit apart from matter. Your senses are not formed to do so.
Can we conceive of spirit apart from matter and matter apart from spirit?
Absolutely, through thought.
So are there two general elements in the universe, matter and spirit?
Yes, and over everything is God, the creator and author of all. These three elements comprise the principle of all that exists. They are the universal trinity. However, to the element of matter must be added the universal fluid, which plays an intermediary role between spirit and matter per se, since matter is too dense for spirit to act upon it directly, although from a certain point of view, this fluid may be regarded as part of the material element. It differs from it due to special properties. If it were simply matter, there would be no reason for spirit not to be matter too. It is placed between spirit and matter. It is a fluid, just as matter is matter, in its countless combinations with matter, and under the direction of spirit it is capable of producing an infinite variety of things about which you still know very, very little. By being the agent upon which spirit acts, this universal primitive or elementary fluid is the principle without which matter would forever remain in a state of dispersion. It would never acquire the properties given to it by gravitation.
Might this fluid be what we call electricity?
We have stated that it is capable of countless combinations. What you call the electric and magnetic fluids are both modifications of the one universal fluid. Properly speaking, this fluid is a more perfect and subtler matter that may be considered as independent.
Since spirit is something in and of itself, wouldn't it be clearer and less subject to confusion to label these two general elements as inert matter and intelligent matter?
Words do not matter much to us. It is up to you to formulate your language in a way that you can understand one another. The disputes among you almost always arise because you cannot agree on the meanings of the words you use. Your language is incomplete regarding things that do not touch your senses.
The properties of matter.
Is ponderability an essential attribute of matter?
Of matter, as you understand it, yes, but not of matter considered as the universal fluid. The ethereal and subtle matter that forms this fluid is imponderable to you, and yet it is the very principle of your ponderable. 19 matter.
Does matter consist of one or many elements?
One single primitive element. The bodies you regard as simple are not true elements, but rather transformations of the one primitive matter.
Where do the different properties of matter come from?
From the modifications that the elementary molecules undergo as a result of their combining under certain conditions.
Then wouldn't flavors, odors, colors, sounds, even the poisonous or healing qualities of certain bodies be no more than modifications of the one and the same primitive substance?
Yes, of course, and they only exist due to the disposition of the organs that are meant to perceive them.
Is the same elementary matter capable of undergoing all possible modifications and acquiring all possible properties?
Yes, and this is what you should understand when we say that everything is in everything.
Doesn't this theory affirm the opinion of those who do not believe in more than only two essential properties for matter, force and movement, and who believe that all the other properties are only secondary effects that vary according to the intensity of the force and direction of the movement?
This opinion is correct, but it should also add, according to the arrangement of the molecules. This may be seen, for example, in an opaque body that can become transparent and vice versa.
Do molecules have a defined form?
Certainly molecules have a form, but you are incapable of discerning it.
Is this form constant or variable?
Constant for the primitive elementary molecules, but variable for the secondary ones, which are only aggregations of the former. However, what you term a molecule is still very far from being the elementary molecule.
Universal space.
Is universal space infinite or limited?
Infinite. If it had limits, what would be beyond them? I know this baffles your reason, yet reason itself tells you that it can be no other way. The same is true of the idea of the infinite. In all things, it is not something you can comprehend on your restricted world.
Is there an absolute void in any part of universal space?
No, there is no void. What appears to you to be a void is actually occupied by matter that cannot be detected by your senses or instruments.
Subscribe now and embrace this journey and let the light of the Spiritism guide you.